Before you head to Italy, these are 10 important things that you should know. Italian food is so much more than just pizza and pasta. So if you plan on only eating those types of dishes when you go to Italy, you're gonna miss out. Each region of Italy has its own typical dishes. They vary from steak to soup to seafood. For example, when you're visiting Florence, where I lived, you have to try the BISTECCA FIORENTINA, which is Florentine steak. And in Lombardy, where Milan is, they love polenta and also buco. So if you're visiting there, you have to try those dishes. Branch out from the pizza and the pasta. You can still have that wine though. They love wine in every single region. The train system in Italy can get you to most places. Even though there are sometimes strikes and delays, the train system in Italy is pretty good. So if you're thinking of traveling around the country, I'd recommend looking into taking the train. You can buy tickets for the high-speed train, which is super nice, especially if you go first class. It's really quick and it's really comfortable. And it's much easier than having to go to the airport and get on a plane. I'll leave a link down in the description to the site where you can buy yourself train tickets. When you use the train or the bus, make sure that you validate your ticket. So if you're taking one of the slower regional trains or if you're going on one of the local city buses, you have to do what's called validating your ticket. You can do this by getting it stamped in one of the yellow or green boxes at a train station or getting it stamped on the bus in one of the yellow boxes. If you don't get your ticket validated, you could get a €50 fine and they're super strict about it, so make sure you do it. Know a couple of key phrases in Italian. So I think that if you're in another country, it's polite to at least try to speak a little bit of the language, especially things like please and thank you. And in Italy, they'll really appreciate it and you might even get treated better. So 3 phrases that you should know before you go are please, thank you, and do you speak English? You can say please by saying per favore, grazie is thank you. And instead of going into some place and assuming that everybody speaks English, it's polite to say parla inglese, which means do you speak English? Everything is much slower in Italy, and you'll notice this mostly when you go out to eat. So make sure you pack your patience in your luggage. Unlike what we might be used to in America or in the UK, you're probably gonna have to ask your server for everything, whether that be extra water or to find out why your food's taking so long. There is no such thing as a quick meal in Italy, so make sure you give yourself plenty of time to eat, whether it be lunch or dinner. And instead of getting frustrated with the slowness, just embrace it. You're in Italy on vacation, so take a couple of hours to have lunch, enjoy your wine, and just have a good time. Dinner is eaten pretty late in Italy, so don't expect to be showing up at a restaurant at 6:30 and eating a meal. Some places might not even be open until 7:30 or 8 o'clock. Italians will usually eat dinner 7 o'clock on the earlier side, or more likely 9 or 10 o'clock in the evening. So plan for later dinners. Skip the lines and just go explore instead. Even if this trip to Italy is probably the last that you'll ever take, it doesn't mean that you should wait online to go into all of the popular galleries and museums all day. You could spend your whole trip online. So why not get out of the touristy areas instead and just go wander around? You can find some really nice places to eat or beautiful gardens to explore. There's just so much to see, and a lot of it will teach you about Italy's history anyway. Many shops and restaurants close between 1 and 4 p.m., so plan around that. You're not really gonna be able to have a later lunch, and if you need to pop to the shop for something, it's gonna be closed till about 4 o'clock. The reason is that the Italians actually let their staff to go home and have their lunch and enjoy it. Also, some places will be closed on Monday since they're open on the weekend. So if you're going any place special like a restaurant, make sure you check to see if they're gonna be open. Italians dress for the season and not the weather. For some reason, even if it's 95 degrees outside in April, Italians will still be walking around with their down jackets on, just because it's April and it's not supposed to be warm. So keep that in mind when you're planning to pack. Even if it's meant to be unseasonably warm, you're gonna stand out if you walk around in shorts or a sundress and sandals. You can't actually hail a taxi. So if you need to grab a taxi when you're in Italy, you probably won't be able to just put your hand out and hail one. You're gonna either have to call the taxi company to request one, or you have to find a taxi stand where you can pick one up. So if you've had a late meal and you wanna grab a taxi, just ask the hostess if there's a nearby taxi stand that you can go to. If there isn't, they'll probably offer to call a taxi for you. But make sure you have cash, which leads me into that you should always have cash on you when you're in Italy. Do not expect to pay by card for everything like we do in the US or in the UK. Make sure you always have a good chunk of euros on you, maybe like 40 or 50, just in case you pop into a shop or a restaurant that doesn't accept card. And don't assume that any tours or excursions that you're gonna go on will accept card too. So where are you going in Italy? Let me know down in the comments below. If you're visiting Florence, that's where I live, so I hope you enjoy it. For more stylish travel tips, make sure you subscribe to my channel, which you can click the button around here, so that you don't miss any of my new videos, which I have new ones every single Thursday. See you guys in the next video.